What Rastafari know about selling out Jamaica? The irony of ironies and the big finger pointing back. Let's talk about it. Rastafari and the betrayal of Marcus Garvey's legacy. Let's be brave in our own outlook and give Rastafari the true glory he deserves. I mean, instead of using his noble energy to be a respectable Judas, talking about Andrew Holness sellout like you don't sell out the most, claiming that Selassie I sent you to do a job and then you blame someone like Dr. Andrew Holness, whom you say was never ordained for not doing Jah works. Go and sit down, brother. Where were you when Jah was calling Rasta? I will remind you. Just hold on a little bit. I will remind you where you were, Rasta. Hey again, everyone. It's Skywalker. Welcome to my channel where good coffee makes bad people feel bad, and I don't care who the guy. The stakes are too high, my people, and we can't let everyone get away with every piece of crappy crap every time. We have to stop and call a spade a spade. If this brew is good for you today, please give me the thumbs up because you really help me in that way. Subscribe and help me to grow this channel and share the video to those you believe will love the coffee we serve over here. I respect your opinion as much as you should respect mine, but waste words without substance ain't got no handle over here because it is the same crap I am over here burning out all day. I am always going to read your comment because I really love the fact that you care to be engaged with this Skywalker channel. I appreciate you. Thanks for seeing the good in this movement. I see black freedom fighters that fight against racism becoming facilitators of racism, but only against themselves and against their own. It's like subliminal self hate, which you only realize when you look at the series of coincidences. For example, the consistent number of times out of 100 when they put themselves last, even when being given the power to call the shots. You have the power to call the shots, but you still put yourself last. I see Rastafari using Bustamante's fat to fry Andrew Holness while praising Norman Manley and worshipping Michael Manley for fighting and destroying the legacy of Marcus Garvey. And while declaring that the proven guilty Finsack guy is more honest than the black man who was found to be clean, the black man scribe. Huh? What's the black man's crime? His nose is too big, they say. I have heard that prejudicial reason so many times. And why then is the white man innocent? For no reason except the usual. The white man is right and the black man goes to the back. That's it. The white man is right and the black man goes to the back. Even when the white man tells you to your face that he and his Tapanari's friends will run your country. How do you put some logic to this consistent coincidence in our race? Marcus Garvey was right and Naaman was wrong, but they chose Naaman, the white guy, and only few resisted. Only a few resisted because they are satisfied to saying they ain't shit, but the white guy is it. Andrew Holness was never found guilty of anything, but Mark Golding, the son of slave legacy, Mark Golding, the son of slave legacy, gained his wealth from the blood money of our own black masses destroyed by Finsack. Mark Golding, the son of slave legacy, the son of the agent, the polio guy, the British agent, Mark Golding, gain his legacy from the blood money of our own black masses, destroyed by Finsack, proving that he will always be on that legacy of tormenting us. The facts are there. Whatever anyone might say, it's not a debate. But they say that Andrew is a thief and Mark Golding is honest. They said Marcus was a fool and Norman was wise at that time. They cussed and lambasted Marcus and made him leave with a broken heart. So, Michael Manley, Michael Manley could use Marcus' best ideas from his manifesto and make Rastafari worship him as Joshua with a rod of correction while betraying the black prophet Marcus. Yes, this is a consistent coincidence, but when you ask them, they try to tell you that SHIT spells sugar, and that's why. That's why. That's the reason why. Well, no more hey diddle diddle for me. Mm-mm. I get too much now about Andrew Sellout. This is one of those moments when you say, make it make sense, but you know it never will. You think you can just spread propaganda and turn Andrew into the next bag of wire? And also it work. The facts are there blaring into our faces, but no one has the courage to call it out. This is usually where Skywalker steps in. The injustice served to bag of wire. It don't want serve to another brother. Hmm? This is not even to be dubbed as the great controversy, but rather it is the great hypocrisy. And what is worse, those involved will keep pointing their fingers instead of stepping back just a little to take a deeper look at themselves. They stand in ignorance. In fact, let me move that word there. They stand in arrogance. They betray in arrogance, and then they condemn in arrogance, and in a most conceited way declare themselves the freedom fighters that deserve their accolades. As Nanny of the Maroons was paid with national hero status for the great work she did as traitor against her people on behalf of the British, as colonial pants like Bustamante and Norman Manley, will ever be paid for the great work they did. All of them get paid. The man them who come from England, we come do great work against us get paid. John Golden, Mark Golden father get paid. Like him is a hero. The polio guy who polio appeared after get him praise. Norman Manley get him praise and his son want live up to the legacy too. Nanny of the Maroon get hero status. Hmm? Rastafari want for them hero status. When Marcus Garvey leave Jamaica with a broken heart, and then them start run up and down but Joshua with the rod of correction. Mm-mm. Colonial pants will ever be paid for the great work they did, and their names will be worshipped by their own victims and called to respect. Yes, their name will be called to be respected. Like Michael Manley lived for the legacy of Norman Manley and Mark Golding for the legacy of John Golding, the polio man, a British agent. The facts are not hidden in history. They come out blaring at us. It is we who choose to interpret them in incredible ways that make us continue to betray ourselves so as to please the status quo. Mhm. It is us. It is us who choose to interpret them in what we call a conventional way. That's the way to do it. Somebody telling you how to think. That's the way we should interpret it, ain't it? My people, to all seekers of truth and challengers, challengers of convention, hmm? Seekers of truth and challengers of convention, because Skywalker walk. Today, we embark on a journey through history, a journey that dares to question the narratives we have been told and confront the uncomfortable truths that lie beneath. Our focus is the Rastafari movement, which is always visibly telling everyone that everyone else is a traitor. It is a cultural and spiritual force that claims to uphold the teachings of Marcus Mosiah Garvey. But does it truly honor his legacy, or has it, knowingly or unknowingly, betrayed the very ideals it professes to stand for? Let us begin with Marcus Garvey himself, a man of unparalleled vision, a champion of black empowerment, and a relentless advocate for African redemption. Garvey's philosophy was clear: self reliance, unity, and a complete rejection of colonial ideologies. I mean, a complete freaking rejection without compromise. He stood against the elite, the mulatto class, and the colonial framework that sought to keep Afro Jamaicans subjugated. His teachings were a call to arms for a people yearning to reclaim their identity and destiny. Yet, Garvey faced relentless opposition. Norman Manley, a key figure in Jamaica's political elite, clashed with Garvey on multiple occasions. During famous loggerhead moments, such as the gas station controversy, symbolize the broader ideological divide between Garvey's grassroots activism and Manley's reformist approach. Manley's colonial manifesto, rooted in a white supremacist template, right? Because that's what it would be rooted in. Because this guy is a white supremacist. So Manley's colonial manifesto was rooted in a white supremacist template and was a direct affront to Garvey's vision of true independence. Yet Marcus Garvey found much disillusionment in the fact that he always had too little support from those he was sacrificing for. Whereas study. Alexander Bustamante, another towering figure in Jamaica's political history, a cousin of Norman Manley, was no friend to Garvey or the Rastafari movement. He was not doing anything that Norman was not doing. Norman was busy colonizing the people in their heads, and Bustamante was busy taking the fight directly to the Rastafarian community because they were conspicuous in their movement. His disdain for African mindedness was evident in his government's actions, including the brutal Coral Gardens massacre. Bustamante's hostility reflected the broader societal tensions of the time, a fear of the cultural resistance that Garvey and Rastafari represented. And then came Edward Siaga, a Caucasian person, but a surprising defender of Garvey's legacy. Despite being a member of the Jamaica Labour Party, the JLP, Siaga recognized Garvey's contributions and worked to enshrine him as a national hero. His efforts were a rare acknowledgement of Garvey's impact, even as others sought to diminish his influence. Edward Siaga failed for support from the Rastafari community in this battle that was consistent over an extended period of time. Rastafari was a movement born from Garvey's teachings, yet one that has often strayed from his path. Rastafarians initially supported Bustamante's JLP but grew disillusioned due to police brutality and neglect. This led them to align with the People's National Party, the PNP, particularly under Michael Manley's leadership. Manley's Joshua with the Rod of Correction era saw Rastafarians rallying behind him, touting him as a savior of the people, putting him up there with Haile Selassie. These Caucasians were leading these black people as if they were imbeciles, like shepherds leading sheep. Michael Manley, who was the son of Norman, and carrying that age-old hate for Marcus Garvey, used a simple spell designed with the help of a Rastaman to draw the support of the Rasta community in a way that proved them to be too simple-minded for freedom fighters. They were operating more like sheep, to be honest. Marcus Garvey, being the great prophet on the international scene and who received so much lip service, claiming his value to Rastafari, was second but only to Haile Selassie himself. And Michael Manley needed that influence. He needed his power to work with. Marcus Garvey's enemy wanted to be greater than Marcus Garvey in the eyes of Rastafari, for Rastafari had influence, and he also wanted the power of Haile Selassie to influence his victory in the general election. He needed to kill two birds with one stone. Michael Manley simply got a rod and claimed that it was given to him by Haile Selassie, and right there he received the power of the Ethiopian emperor. Rastafari discarded Marcus Garvey, the prophet, who was now placed beneath the feet of Michael Manley, who used the power of Selassie to rule over these traitors, running around about Joshua the prophet with the rod of correction. And they were not talking about Marcus Garvey or Haile Selassie here either. They were talking about Michael Manley, big like Haile Selassie now. And Marcus Garvey have to play a second fiddle. Yeah, it was Michael Manley who had a rod he claimed belonged to Selassie, and a manifesto that belonged to Marcus Garvey, which he claimed was for him, he created himself. And, and then he corrupted it into a communist template that Marcus did not even endorse. Rastafari were in bed with Marcus Garvey's enemies all day, every day. Remember that? All day, every day. Rastafari was in bed with the man enemy. Marcus Mosiah Garvey enemy. But here lies the paradox. By embracing Manley, Rastafarians were compromising Garvey's ideals. Manley's democratic socialism, while progressive, was rooted in a framework that Garvey himself criticized as insufficient for true black liberation. Rastafari's alignment with Manley was a pragmatic political move, but it was also a betrayal of Garvey's vision of self reliance and African unity. Rastafari were the first biggest sellout in the days around independence. This betrayal is further compounded by Rastafari's cultural contradictions. While they claim to honor Garvey, their actions often undermine his teachings. Their support for leaders who operate within colonial frameworks, their compromises for political alliances, and their failure to fully embrace Garvey's call for African redemption all point to a movement that has lost its way. It has lost its way, but it lose the way for a long time. So, what does this mean for us today? It means we must confront the uncomfortable truths of our history. We must question the narratives we have been told and hold accountable those who claim to stand for justice and liberation. You hear me, Rasta? Rastafari's betrayal of Marcus Garvey's legacy is a reminder that even the most well intentioned movements can falter, but it is also a call to action, a call to reclaim Garvey's vision and ensure that his teachings are not forgotten. Most of all, it is a call to join the positive movements instead of going around playing holier than thou, but always being the first to sell out. You walking around flashing locks and telling lies on your brother to help your father's enemy isn't kosher. It isn't kosher, Jaja. Just look into yourselves and what you are doing. My people, the truth is controversial. It is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Let us embrace it, challenge it, and use it to advance to higher truths. Because only by confronting the past can we build a future worthy of Garvey's legacy. Think on these things, my people. Peace out.